living down on Riverside, always dressed in charcoal gray. He'd sit alone beneath the streetlight and tell folks what tomorrow would say. He never asked for money, never claimed he was a saint, just smiled through the cigarette smoke and told you what tomorrow ain't. He said tomorrow's just a lie, selling dreams you cannot hold. The only thing that's ever certain is the story being told right now. The boxer asked about a title, the singer asked about fame, the gambler asked about winning. Everybody asked the same. The old man shook his head slowly as the night rolled dark and deep. Most folks spend their lives chasing tomorrow and lose today in their sleep. He said tomorrow's just a liar, selling dreams you cannot hold. The only thing that's ever certain is the story being told right now. One night I finally asked him, what happens to me? He looked at his drink, looked at the band, then looked back at me and laughed. A single blue note hanging in the smoke like a question with no answer. He said you'll waste some years, you'll break some hearts, you'll lose some things you can't replace, but one day you'll stop running and learn to love your place. The next Friday he was gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just an empty chair and a glass still sitting on the table. For the first time, he hadn't shown up to see tomorrow. Every store on Main Street closed at midnight, except one at the end of the block. A pawn shop glowing through the darkness like a lighthouse built for the lost. I'd see old dreamers walking in there with guitars, watches, wedding rings, trading pieces of their stories for a little breathing room. There's a light in the pawn shop window, burning when the world shuts down, where broken plans and hard times meet on the edge of town. The light in the pawn shop window knows every bluesman by his name, 'cause every man who's lived long enough has pawned something he couldn't save. One night I saw an old boxer standing, holding a trophy in his hands. He stared at it for one long minute, then slid across the counting man. The bass rolled low behind the silence, the guitar answered soft and slow. Some losses don't sound like thunder, they sound like letting go. There's a light in the pawn shop window, burning when the world shuts down, where broken plans and hard times meet on the edge of town. The owner never asked questions, he just nodded, like he'd heard every story before. One long bend, floating through the smoke, like a memory refusing to leave. There's a light in the pawn shop window, still shining after all these years, for the fighters, lovers, gamblers, and the souvenirs. That light in the pawn shop window ain't selling hope or taking blame, just holding on to yesterday, till somebody comes back again. The street goes quiet, the sign still blows, and somewhere inside that little shop, another story changes hands. She walked in right when the lights went low, right when the band found its groove. Black heels clicking on the hardwood floor, making every head in the room move. She didn't smile, she didn't wave, didn't need to even try. The whole damn lounge stopped breathing when she walked beneath the moonlight. She stole the moon from the sky and hung it in her eyes. Every man in the room stopped talking, every life forgot his lies. She stole the moon from the sky, left the stars with nothing to do, and for one long night I swear the whole world revolved around you. midnight engine. The snare hit sharp and clean. She danced alone in a circle of shadows, like she stepped from a silver screen dream. I said, "What's a woman like you doing here?" She said, "Looking for a song." Then she stole my drink and laughed like she'd known me all along. She stole the moon from the sky and hung it in her eyes. Every heart in that smoky room started beating out of time. She stole the moon from the sky, made the night feel brand new. And for one long night, I forgot everything but you. At 2 a.m. she climbed on stage, whispered something to the band. The guitar cried, the roadside, and suddenly everybody danced. Slow band, long sustained. One note shining like silver in the dark. She stole the moon from the sky and gave it back before the dawn left nothing but her perfume and a memory to lean on. She stole the moon from the sky. That's what I'll always choose to believe. 'Cause some women are too beautiful to explain any other way. The night ended, the moon stayed, but somehow it never looked quite the same again. The station clock says midnight. The platform's cold and painted blue. A train rolls through this little town, but it ain't stopping for me and you. The porter sweeps the empty benches. The night hangs heavy in the air. I've got a ticket in my pocket and nowhere left worth getting there. The last train doesn't stop here anymore. It just blows smoke across the dock. Some chances leave let them go. A guitar cries from the lounge across the street. The bass rolls low beneath the rain. A woman dances with a stranger like she never knew my name. I light a cigarette and watch her laughing like she finally found the door. I guess some people are destinations, and some are just the road before. The last train doesn't stop here anymore. It just blows smoke across the dark. Oh, some chances leave without a warning. Some dreams leave without a mark. Funny thing about moving on, nobody tells you. It sounds a lot like a train getting smaller in the distance. Play on, and I've survived worse than this before. The train disappears, the station goes quiet. I finish my drink and stay right where I am. She always showed up after midnight, just when the blues got good. Black dress shining in the neon, like trouble knew it would. She'd buy one drink, light one cigarette, smile and steal the room. And disappear before last call, like perfume leaving bloom. She never stayed till morning, never gave her name away. She left 100 hearts still burning, the woman who never stayed. footsteps. The guitar caught her like a flame. Every man in that old lounge wanted to know her name, but she just laughed and raised a glass like she knew something we didn't know, and leave us staring at the doorway, watching her shadow go. She never stayed till morning, never gave her name away. She left 100 hearts still burning. The woman who never stayed. One rainy night I followed her out into the dark. She turned around and smiled and said, "Some stories end the moment they start." Slow band, a lonely cry, a note hanging in midnight air. She never stayed till morning, never gave her name away, but every time the band starts playing, I still look toward that doorway, waiting for the woman who never stayed. There's a photograph above the bar, been hanging there for years. A man in a sharp black suit with a grin from ear to ear. Nobody talks about him much, nobody knows the whole story, but every Friday night at midnight, someone buys his drink. Who was the man in the photograph? What kind of life did he leave behind? A gambler, a saint, a runaway king, depends on who you ask that night. The band plays low, the whiskey pours, the rumors never stop. Everybody's got a story about the man in the photograph. An old waitress says he owned the building. A drummer swears he robbed a bank. The bartender just keeps smiling and never says who's right. The guitar band's a lonely answer. The bass keeps walking through the dark. Sometimes mystery lives longer than the truth ever could. Who was the man in the photograph? What kind of life did he leave behind? A lover, a fighter, a man on the run. Depends on who you ask that night. Near closing time I finally asked, which story is the real one? The bartender laughed and said, all of them. One long note floating in the smoke. One long note floating in the smoke. Who was the man in the photograph? Maybe that's not the point at all. Maybe the reason he's still up there is to remind us everybody becomes a story after the last call. The lights go down, the photo stays, watching over another midnight. Last Tuesday night I met the devil downtown. Not the kind they preach about in church on Sundays. No horns, no fire, no kingdom underground. Just a sharp black suit and a smile that never stayed. He was sitting in my chair at the corner table, drinking bourbon that he hadn't paid for yet. Said, I've been looking for you, gentlemen. I said, funny, I've been trying to forget. The bass rolled low like distant thunder. The bartender suddenly looked away. The whole room felt a little colder, like the night itself had something to say. He lit a cigarette and leaned back laughing as the smoke curled slowly through the light. Said, you survived things that would have buried most men. I guess that's why I'm here tonight. The devil owes me a favor. That's a dangerous debt to collect. I've walked through hell so many times. Even the flames show me respect. I don't need gold, I don't need glory. I've already paid my dues. The devil owes me a favor, and I'm spending it on the truth. He said, remember Memphis in '99, that motel room and the loaded gun? I nodded slow and stared into my whiskey, thinking of the man I used to run from. He said, I was there when you chose mercy instead of giving hate another scar. Most men would have chosen vengeance. You chose to leave and drive into the dark. The guitar answered with a lonely moan, a long blue note hanging over the room, like a ghost refusing to surrender to the silence waiting beyond the tomb. The devil smiled and shook his head. That's the day you cost me a soul. Been trying to square the books ever since, but gentlemen make terrible fools. The devil owes me a favor. That's a dangerous debt to collect. I've walked through hell so many times, even the flames show me respect. I don't need gold, I don't need glory. I've already paid my dues. The devil owes me a favor, and I'm spending it on the truth. Outside, the city kept pretending that everybody knew where they belonged. Inside, the drums kept steady time, like an old judge deciding right from wrong. I thought about every broken promise. Every night I barely made it through. Then I looked across the table and said, tell me something. Does mercy ever come back to you? The devil laughed so hard the glasses rattled. And for the first time all night, he looked afraid. Slow bends climbing upward, deep vibrato shaking the walls. Every note carrying years of regret and something that sounded a little like redemption. The devil owes me a favor, but maybe I don't need it now. Some debts are better left unpaid. Some victories don't need a crown. I've got scars, I've got stories, I've got blues enough to last a lifetime. The devil owes me a favor, but I already found what's mine. He vanished before the last call ended, leaving his drink untouched at the bar. The bartender asked who I'd been talking to. I smiled, finished my bourbon, and watched the neon fade into the dawn, knowing some men fear the devil and some men meet him, then leave him wondering what went wrong. The city wears a black silk coat tonight. Street lights drip like gold from a broken crown. I step through the smoke where the lost hearts hide, with a glass of old regret slowly going down. The piano whispers secrets to the walls, and the shadows lean closer when my name gets called. I've seen angels leave through the back room door. I've seen devils begging for a little more. Every scar shines silver in the neon rain. Every promise leaves a fingerprint of pain. Midnight knows my name, knows the weight I carry, knows the love that came, then vanished like a ghostly fairy. And these blue notes burn like a flame that won't surrender. Midnight knows my name, and it holds me like a faithful stranger. A woman in red sits alone by the bar. Her eyes tell stories her lips won't confess. She smiles like she's traveled from another star, then disappears into the velvet darkness. The bass keeps walking through the room so slow, like a heartbeat buried underneath the floor. My guitar cries softly where the cold winds blow, as if it understands what I'm searching for. Every dream grows older in the hands of time. Every lonely soul still believes in a sign. Midnight knows my name, knows the roads I've wandered, knows the love I blamed for every bridge left torn asunder. And these blue notes burn through the silence growing tender. Midnight knows my name, and it holds me like a faithful stranger. I've danced with memories I couldn't keep, watched them fade into the cigarette haze. Still they linger in the corners of my sleep, like forgotten melodies from better days. The room grows quiet, the clock slows down. One last chord echoes through this town. The strings bend low and long into the dark, answering every word I never say. A lonely conversation after midnight, between the living and the nearly dead. Midnight knows my name, knows the truth behind me, knows the hidden flame that all these years could never leave me. And these blue notes burn with a fire smooth and steady. Midnight knows my name, when the world forgets it's waiting for me. The city wears a black silk coat tonight. The band is gone, the glasses all run dry. But somewhere in the dark beyond the light, gentle blues keeps breathing as I ride, and midnight knows my name. Yes, midnight knows my name. Till the last slow note fades into the night. She left a matchbook on the table when she walked out of my life. No tears, no scene, no broken glasses, just a quiet Friday night. The band kept playing like nothing happened. The bass kept moving slow and deep, but that little book of matches burned a hole right through me. I should have thrown it away the night she said goodbye, but some things keep a fire alive. Long after the flame has died, I still carry it around like a fool who can't rewind. That matchbook she left behind, it's faded now, the print is peeling. The club it came from closed for years, but every scratch across the cover still knows all my fears. The guitar bends and dances softly like it remembers her too. Every note says what my pride wants, that I never got over you. I should have thrown it away the night she said goodbye, but some things keep a fire alive. Long after the flame has died. Funny thing about memories, they weigh almost nothing until you try to put them down. Keeping old ghosts alive. Last call, dim lights, one more bourbon. I reach into my coat, and there it is. Outside, the city drowned in neon. Inside, the band played soft and low. She stood beneath the club's old awning, watching nowhere left to go. A cigarette between her fingers, a suitcase by her worn-out shoes. She looked like someone leaving town, or someone being left to lose. Last cigarette in the rain, one last ember, one last flame. Some people leave with a goodbye, some just leave a name. Last cigarette in the rain, burning down to nothing new. The saddest thing about goodbye is when nobody stops you. I asked her where the road was taking her. She smiled and looked beyond the tracks, said somewhere my heart can't find me, and never looked back. Last cigarette in the rain, one last ember, one last flame. Some people leave with a goodbye, some just leave a name. The guitar cried, the train rolled in, the night swallowed her whole. Last cigarette in the rain, fading like a memory's glow. Funny how a stranger can leave a hole you'll always know. The cigarette went dark, the train pulled out, and the rain kept falling. I took a job on the graveyard shift at a hotel nobody talked about. The pay was good, the rules were strange. Don't ask the guest what they're here about. The lobby clock never moved an inch, always stuck at 2:13. bell rang soft around midnight for people nobody else could see. The manager said, just hand them their keys, don't read the names. I worked the night shift for the dead, checking in memories instead. The bass rolled low, the snare cracked hard like footsteps through the dark. Some came smiling, some came broke, some carried dreams that went up in smoke. On the night shift for the dead, where yesterday never leaves. A soldier arrived in a worn-out coat, still holding a letter he never sent. A singer walked in with a golden voice, looking for applause that came and went. Then one rainy night the bell rang twice, and a woman stepped through the door. She looked at me and my blood ran cold. I'd seen her face before. She slid a photograph across the desk. It was me, 30 years older. I worked the night shift for the dead, checking in memories instead. The bass rolled low, the snare cracked hard like footsteps through the dark. Some came smiling, some came broke, some carried dreams that went up in smoke. On the night shift for the dead, where yesterday never leaves. I said, why are you here? She whispered low to deliver a message. I asked, from who? She said, from yourself. The room went silent, the ropes held one long cord as she handed me an envelope marked, before it's too late. I quit the night shift for the dead before dawn painted the sky blood red. The bass rolled on, the city woke, while the first train coughed its smoke. I opened the letter, there were only 3 words, nothing more to read. 3 simple words that changed my life. Call your brother. Now every year on that same date, I drive past the hotel gate, but there's no building there, no sign, no street, just an empty lot and a memory. On a narrow street where the neon fades, I fix old clocks while the city sways. Gold pocket watches, silver hands, tiny broken kingdoms in my hands. People bring me time that lost its way. Weddings, wars, and yesterday. I wind the gears and listen close. Every ticking heart has ghosts. Some men count money, some men count scars. Me, I count the hours left in the dark. After midnight I repair time, one small second at a time. The bass rolls low, the city sleeps, while old regrets wait beneath the streets. And every watch that starts again sounds like forgiveness to a tired old man. After midnight, beneath the blue, I fix what time forgets to do. The young boy came with his grandfather's watch, said it stopped the day we lost him, sir. I held that brass beneath the light, like holding someone's final night. Took me an hour, maybe two, a little oil, a patient screw. Then suddenly the old thing spoke, tick, tick, like a sleeping memory woke. After midnight I repair time, one small second at a time. The bass rolls low, the city sleeps, while old regrets wake beneath the streets. And every watch that starts again sounds like forgiveness to a tired old man. After midnight, beneath the blue, I fix what time forgets to do. Maybe that's why I never close this shop. Maybe I'm still trying to fix one clock that stopped inside myself long ago. The first train hums, the dawn turns gold. Another story bought and sold. I lock the door, I dim the light, and leave the clocks to guard the night. After midnight, that's what I do. A gentleman with time to lose. On the quiet street behind the old train yard, there was a shop that stayed open after dark. The sign out front read simple and plain: memories for rent, painted in the rain. You could borrow summer from 1969. A Saturday victory, a first glass of wine, a moonlit dance or a championship ring for a couple of dollars and a temporary dream. The owner smiled and handed me a key, said, "Pick any life you'd like to see." He was the man who rented memories for an hour or two at a time. The bass rolled low, the roadside deep, while strangers stood in line. Some borrowed glory, some borrowed fame, some borrowed sunshine to fight the rain. From the man who rented memories on the edge of town. I chose a memory locked in a silver case, a famous jazz trumpet player on his greatest day. The crowd was roaring, the spotlight burned, every note he played made the whole world turn. And suddenly I felt something strange beneath the applause and fortune gained. The loneliness hiding behind the smile, the cost of being loved for a little while. He was a man who rented memories for an hour or two at a time. The bass rolled low, the roadside deep, while strangers stood in line. Some borrowed glory, some borrowed fame, some borrowed sunshine to fight the rain. From the man who rented memories on the edge of town. I brought the memory back before dawn. The owner asked, "Didn't you want to keep it?" I said, "No, I think I'd rather earn my own." Reflected in the puddles like diamonds nobody planned for. The bass rolled on, the night stayed blue, and for the first time I finally knew a borrowed dream can never mean what a hard-earned life can do. Now sometimes when the moon hangs low and the midnight train begins to moan, that little shop, but the window's dark, like it was never there at all. Down a side street nobody talks about, there's a narrow door with the lights turned out. No sign above, no number on the wall, but somehow the lost always find the hall. Shelves to the ceiling, row after row, filled with letters nobody chose to show. Apologies, confessions, last goodbyes, sleeping beneath the dust of time. The old librarian looked at me and said, "What didn't you send?" Welcome to the library of unsent letters, where the words still breathe and the silence remembers. Every "I love you", every "please don't go", every truth somebody never let show. The bass rolled low, the shadows grew, as I searched the shelves for something true. In the library of unsent letters, I found a piece of me. Then she handed me a faded page written in my own handwriting years ago, addressed to a woman whose name I knew but hadn't spoken since the moon was young. The ink had run, the paper had aged, but every line still carried weight. Funny how a sentence left unread can survive longer than a promise said. Welcome to the library of unsent letters, where the words still breathe and the silence remembers. Every "I forgive you", every "I was wrong", every melody that never became a song. The bass rolled low, the night turned blue, as old ghosts walk the aisles in twos. In the library of unsent letters, nothing was truly lost. I asked, "Can I take this letter home?" The librarian smiled and shook her head. "No, sir. Some words exist only to teach." First time in years, my pockets felt light. Behind me, the library disappeared, like it had never been there at all, except for the words I finally carried home inside my heart. Inside my heart. Every city has a rumor. This one at room 929, a suite at the top of the Crescent Hotel that never appeared online. No key on the rack, no number on the map, no record of who checked in. But if life had backed you into a corner, they said the room might let you in. One rainy night, with nowhere to run, I found the elevator waiting. Room 909. At the end of a long dark hall, the bass rolled deep, the snare hit hard like a fist against the wall. Room 909, where every guest gets one chance to trade one truth for one regret and rewrite circumstance. The door swung open by itself. No concierge, no bell, just a mahogany desk and a man dressed sharp as hell. He poured 2 glasses of bourbon neat and slid one across the grain. Said, tell me the moment you'd erase. I spoke her name. He nodded once, like he'd heard it all before. Room 909. At the end of a long dark hall, the bass rolled deep, the snare cracked sharp as shadows crossed the wall. Room 909, where every guest gets one chance to trade one truth for one regret and rewrite circumstance. Then he opened a silver case. Inside was the night she left. The exact words, the exact rain, the exact look I'll never forget. My hand reached out, then stopped halfway as the roads held one long chord. Because if I erase the heartbreak, I'd erase everything it taught. Sometimes late at night, when the streets shine with rain, I look up at the Crescent Hotel and count the windows. 1, 2, 3, 8, then nothing. Because room 909 only appears when you need it. The headline hit the city at 9:45. The moon goes up for sale tonight. Every hustler, king and millionaire lined up beneath the chandelier light. Politicians and velvet thieves in cologne, movie stars hiding behind sunglasses indoors. Everybody wanted a piece of the sky, like they already own the earth below. The auctioneer smiled, tapped his glass and said, "Let's begin." The night they sold the moon, the whole world lost its mind. People throwing fortunes at a thing they could never hold or hide. The bass rolled deep, the room caught fire, with greed dressed up as desire. The night they sold the moon, I sat back and watched. A billionaire offered a mountain of gold, said he'd paint his initials across the globe. A tech tycoon promised a brighter future, with premium moonlight for paying customers. The crowd applauded every insane idea, like madness had become the atmosphere. Then an old janitor stood from the rear and quietly said, "You can't own what's already shared." The room fell silent for the first time all night. The night they sold the moon, the whole world lost its mind. People throwing fortunes at a thing they could never hold or hide. The bass rolled deep, the room caught fire, with greed dressed up as desire. The night they sold the moon, I sat back and watched. Then the lights went out, the city turned black. No screens, no signs, no way back. Everybody rushed to the windows, and there it was, still hanging above us, like it hadn't heard a word. Just like it always did. The rich went home, the dream collapsed. The lawyers packed their bags. The old janitor laughed and lit a cigarette beneath that silver light. The night they sold the moon, the moon never belonged to anybody outside. The city breathed again, and the moon kept shining for free. There's a last train leaving Magnolia tonight. Two dim headlights cutting through the dark. Got a one-way ticket folded in my coat, and 20 years buried in my heart. The station's near empty, just me and the rain. A porter sweeping yesterday away. Funny how a man can cross 1,000 miles and still hear the words she didn't say. So roll on, last train to Magnolia. Carry these old ghosts down the line. I bought too many drinks for memory and given too much time to time. If redemption's waiting at the next stop, tell her I've been running slow. Roll on, last train to Magnolia. There's somewhere I still need to go. A young man sits across the aisle from me, shining shoes and a brand new dream. He asked me if love lasts forever. I smile and watch the countryside stream. I tell him some fires warm your hands, some burn until the whole sky glows, and some stay hidden underneath the ashes long after everybody goes. Roll on, last train to Magnolia. Carry these old ghosts down the line. I bought too many drinks for memory, given too much time to time. If redemption's waiting at the next stop, tell her I've been running slow. Roll on, last train to Magnolia. There's somewhere I still need to go. The conductor calls my station name, but I stay seated for a while. Some journeys aren't about arriving, they're about facing the miles. The dawn is breaking gold and blue. Maybe forgiveness isn't something you find. Maybe it finds you. And if you're standing there she did long ago. Roll on, last train to Magnolia. Tonight, I'm finally coming home. The wheels keep singing, soft and low, like an old blues record, spinning slow. The clock struck 12 in the private room. Smoke curled slow beneath the moon. A bass line rolled across the floor, like it had walked this path before. I wore my best black suit tonight, not for glory, not for pride, just another gentleman passing through the kind of city never knew. Welcome to the midnight membership, where hearts wear scars like tailor-made suits. No one asks where you've been before, no one locks the memories out. Raise your glass, let the darkness talk, let the old regrets take a walk. We all pay dues in one way or another in the midnight membership. A woman sat beneath the gold lamp glow, eyes full of places I don't know. She smiled once, then looked away, like she carried yesterday. The band played low, the room stayed still, rose chords drifting over the thrill. Everybody hiding something deep, everybody losing sleep. Welcome to the midnight membership, where hearts wear scars like tailor-made suits. No one asks where you've been before, no one locks the memories out. Raise your glass, let the darkness talk, let the old regrets take a walk. We all pay dues in one way or another in the midnight membership. Men don't always win. Sometimes they simply learn how to live with what could have been. the ship. The lights burn low, the night grows thin. Another story walks right in, and the blues keeps playing again. Down on Mercer Street, beneath a flickering sign, there's a little shop that opens after 9. No diamonds in the window, no gold upon the shelf. Just a man in a black vest, selling pieces of yourself. A banker bought a future where it never grow old. A gambler bought a Friday where his luck struck gold. A singer bought a crowd that knew every word by heart. But nobody ever bought a brand new start. I walked inside, he looked at me and said, "What tomorrow do you need?" He was the man who sold tomorrows, wrapped in smoke and candlelight, trading dreams for silver dollars in the middle of the night. Some walked out smiling,
some walked out changed,
some carried victory,
some carried pain.
but every deal came with a warning: nothing's free from the man who sold tomorrows. I said, show me one where I never played it safe, one where I kissed the girl and took the train, one where I left this city 20 years ago, before my heart learned how to let things go. He pulled a dusty bottle from a hidden drawer, said, "That's a future worth paying for." I held it up and watched it glow, like a life I almost chose. Then he smiled and shook his head, "Careful what you wish to see." He was the man who sold tomorrows, wrapped in smoke and candlelight, trading dreams for silver dollars in the middle of the night. Some walked out smiling,
Some walked out changed,
some carried victory,
some carried pain.
but every deal came with a warning: nothing's free from the man who sold tomorrows. I put the bottle back on the shelf and laughed to myself, 'cause maybe the life I missed made the man I became. top blue. 'Cause a gentleman knows the life he owns is worth more than the one he never knew. Now sometimes late at night, when the city sleeps, I pass that little shop on Mercer Street. But the sign is dark, the door is gone, like it was never there at all. It was midnight when it took the empty chair. Black coat, silver lighter, cold smoke in the air. Never said hello, never asked my name, just stared at his whiskey like he knew my game. Then he slid a photograph across the bar, a picture of me standing beside a car. The date on the back read 10 years ahead. I looked at the stranger and said, "Explain." He smiled real slow, like a man who knew something I didn't. He was a stranger who knew my future, like he'd already seen the end. He knew the roads I'd walk tomorrow, and the lies I'd tell my friends. The bass rolled deep, the room turned small, the shadows climbed the wall, and every word he spoke that night felt too true to ignore. He said, "You'll leave this city in the fall." Said, "You'll finally answer that one missed call." Said, "You'll lose some things you can't replace." Then he stopped and stared into my face. I said, "Tell me something good instead." He laughed and shook his head. "Good news never brings people here. That's not what they're paying for." He was a stranger who knew my future, like he'd already seen the end. He knew the roads I'd walk tomorrow, and the lies I'd tell my friends. The bass rolled deep, the room turned small, the shadows climbed the wall, and every word he spoke that night felt too true to ignore. Then he handed me one final page, folded tight with age. I opened it up
now. Untouched, the room stood still. Nobody saw him, nobody remembered. A man in a black coat paying his bill. The rain came down, the neon blurred. The city hummed its lonely tune. And somewhere out there a stranger smiled, knowing I'd understand soon. Now every year this same night, I keep an empty chair beside me, just in case the future decides to stop by again.
There's a little shop on Ashbury Lane, where broken clocks come in with the rain. Old pocket watches, silver and gold, carrying stories too heavy to hold. I can fix the hands, I can fix the gears, make a stopped heartbeat for another year. But there's one night buried in my mind that no amount of time can rewind. Every tick reminds me, every chime knows why. I'm the clock maker, keeping other people's time alive, turning tiny wheels in the dark, trying to survive. I'm a clock maker, but there's one thing I can't do. I can repair every clock in this town, but I can't go back to you. A businessman came with a watch from his dad, said he quit the day they had their last fight. I worked all night beneath the lamp till the old thing woke back up to life. He smiled and left, said, "You're a miracle friend." I just nodded slowly and watched the door again, 'cause miracles are easy compared to changing fate, and some moments disappear 1 second too late. The guitar cried softly, like an old machine in pain. I'm the clock maker, keeping other people's time alive, turning tiny wheels in the dark, trying to survive. I'm the clock maker, but there's one thing I can't do. In this town, but I can't go back to you. If time is really money, then I spent all that I had trying to buy
ticks. The bass walks slowly, and midnight keeps its secrets.
At St. Cloud Station, rain crawling down the glass, last train smoking in the distance, like a memory trying to pass. Porters sleeping on their feet now, taxi drivers drinking cold coffee, and me, I'm standing in this long black overcoat, trying not to fall apart quietly. Your perfume still on my collar, your goodbye still in my head. Funny how one soft conversation can leave a hope so dead. You said, don't wait up this time, then stepped into the blue. And every real line in this city started sounding like the blues. Snare cracking through the silence, bass rolling deep below. Every guitar cry kept saying, man, you should've let her know. Baby, you caught the last train to St. Cloud, left me here talking to God. And every deep guitar moan tonight still shakes this station hall. Now these cold tracks and midnight lights don't feel like home at all. You left with nothing, but you took it all. From a radio inside the ticket office glow, couple near the corner kissing like they ain't scared to let love show. A tired waitress wipes the counter without looking up once. Everybody got somewhere to go when the night gets too much. I still hear your heels on concrete, sharp echoes in my chest. Got some women don't leave loudly, they just leave permanent. And the rain kept falling sideways, silver rivers through the dawn, while that last train pulled your shadow far beyond where I belong. No, no screaming,
station lights reflecting off a love that used to mean something. Funny how heartbreak sounds richer after midnight in the rain. Like every lonely city street, learning your name. Baby, you caught the last train to St. Claude. Let me drowning in the dark, and every final guitar cry tonight still cuts beneath my skin. Now every whistle in the distance feels like you again. Last train to St. Claude, still rolling through my soul.
Red curtains dripping shadows over gold and nicotine. Women moving through the darkness like forgotten movie scenes. I was leaning near the piano in a charcoal tailored suit, trying hard to bury memories under 90 proof vermouth.
You walked in wearing heartbreak, perfume cold as winter rain, and suddenly the whole damn room started bleeding your name. The drummer kept the heartbeat steady, snare cracking soft and low, while every slow guitar whisper sounded like "Don't let her go." Baby, these champagne tears fall slow tonight, mixing with the smoke and neon lights, and every 38 blues guitar cry hits like heaven dressed in black. You stole my soul so clean, I never got it back. There's a crooked dealer laughing with a blonde on either side, and an old jazz singer drowning in songs he never wrote in time. Everybody here got secrets hidden underneath their style, private wars behind expensive watches and crocodile smiles. You sat beside me quietly, like danger sits with grace, then traced your finger around my glass without looking at my face. You said lonely men look beautiful when they got nothing left to lose. Lord, that line hit harder than these midnight blues. Outside the rain kept falling
like static on the street. Inside your voice move through me, slow and bittersweet. Baby, these champagne tears fall slow tonight, under chandelier and cigarette light. And every low guitar moan still tears my world in two. Now this dark old club keeps breathing long after you. Sunlight, something warm and pure, and you walked in dressed like midnight and made me unsure. Now every booth holds ghosts, every melody cuts deep, and every man in this room tonight looks too tired to sleep. Baby, these champagne tears still fall like rain, cold fingerprints on window panes, and every final guitar cry still echoes through the room, while gentlemen in velvet suits dance slowly with the blues. Champagne tears and 38 blues. I sold the devil a better deal down on a cold back street. He wanted my soul for eternity. I offered him something cheap. I gave him the nights I never slept, the tears I never showed, the part of me that still believed in roads made out of gold. The devil laughed and shook my hand, said, "Son, you've done this before." Now every time the thunder rolls, I hear him knocking at my door. I sold the devil a better deal, and he still thinks he won. But he don't know this heart went dark long before he ever come. I sold the devil a better deal, a gentleman's disguise. Now we're both just gamblers here, looking for a bigger prize. The city glows like burning coal beneath the midnight rain. Every stranger wears a mask, trying to hide their chains. I light a cigarette alone, watch the smoke climb high. Funny how the truth comes out when nobody is asking why. A woman sings across the room like she's haunting every note. The bass runs deep beneath the floor like secrets nobody spoke. I sold the devil a better deal, and he still thinks he won. But he don't know this heart went dark long before he ever come. I sold the devil a better deal, a gentleman's disguise. Now we're both just gamblers here, looking for a bigger prize. Maybe heaven's overrated, maybe hell ain't what they claim. Maybe every man gets tempted by the sound of his own name. Dark, watching another night go by. I sold the devil a better deal, but here's the irony: the only thing he couldn't buy was the part of me still free. The lights go low, whiskey's gone, the devil's still waiting, but so am I. There's a red light bleeding through the rain tonight, a slow jazz shadow under neon light. I walked in clean, but I walked in alone, with a heart made of whiskey and a voice made of stone. She used to sit where the darkness falls, a queen in black velvet against these walls. Now every empty chair keeps calling her name, and every damn night feels exactly the same. But when the guitar cries, I swear she's still around, like a ghost in the smoke that never leaves this town. She left her perfume on midnight, still hanging in the air. like a secret I can't drink away. No matter how long I stare, she left her perfume on midnight and a fire beneath my skin. Now every blues song sounds like her. Every night lets her back in. Keeps rolling like a black Cadillac, while old regrets keep riding in the back. The bartender says, man, let her go, but some wounds get deeper the less you show. A stranger laughs where she used to be. For a second I turn and believe what I see. Then reality cuts like a switchblade smile and leaves me bleeding in style. Keep spinning slow, the memories stay alive. Some loves never die, they just learned how to hide. She left her perfume on midnight, still hanging in the air, like a secret I can't drink away. No matter how long I stare, she left her perfume on midnight and a fire beneath my skin. Now every blues song sounds like her. Every night lets her back in. Maybe love is just a shadow that survives the falling light. Maybe hearts are made for healing. Maybe they're built for the night. She left her perfume on midnight, like a kiss on a loaded gun. And every time I think she's gone, the memory pulls me under. She left her perfume on midnight, still dancing through the room. And the last thing I hear before closing time is her perfume and the blues. The guitar bends slowly, the smoke drifts toward the door. She's gone, but midnight keeps bringing her back once more. The dealer smiled but never showed his eyes. Smoke curled slowly beneath the velvet lights. I walked in wearing yesterday's regret, like a tailored suit I haven't burned yet. The room was quiet, every face concealed. 100 stories nobody revealed. The whiskey glowed like amber in the dark, and every silence left another mark. The band played low, the bass moved like a train, dragging old memories through my veins. Some men run from their past, some men let it stay. But the house always remembers every promise, every lie, every midnight conversation, every last goodbye. The house always remembers long after you're gone. You can leave the table standing, but the game goes on. A woman laughs somewhere beyond the haze, like a melody from another age. For a second I could almost see her face, then the darkness put her back in place. The guitar cried from the corner of the room, slow and heavy like expensive perfume. Every note hung in the air so long, like it knew exactly where I went wrong. The city outside kept moving fast, but this old room was built to hold the past. Some doors never close, some ghosts never leave, and the house always remembers every promise, every lie, every midnight conversation, every last goodbye. The house always remembers long after you're gone. You can leave the table standing, but the game goes on. I used to think forgetting was a skill, something money, time, or pride could kill. But memory is a gentleman, it waits and waits until you're still. Of growing old, every story leaves a fingerprint on the velvet and the gold. The drummer taps the final beat, the bass keeps walking slow, the lights grow dim, and somewhere in the smoke, the house remembers me. I keep a drawer beside my bed, filled with words I've never said, letters written to a man I hope one day I'll understand. Some are folded neat and clean, some still carry coffee stains, some were written through the storm, some through sunlight after rain. I tell them things I can't tell friends, how twists and bends. Our strength is more than standing tall. Sometimes it's surviving the fall. And every line I leave behind feels like talking across time. These are letters to tomorrow, written through the joy and sorrow, sent across the years unknown, to a man still finding home. If he reads these words someday, I hope he smiles and says, you made it through the darkest blue, and became the man you chose. One letter asked if dreams came true, if the sky stayed gray or blue. Did the roads finally make sense, or just grow longer in the end? Another wonders if he learned some fires aren't meant to burn, and where the peace arrived at last, without outrunning the past. The city sleeps outside my room, beneath the silver-painted moon, while ink becomes a bridge tonight between the darkness and the light. And somewhere in the years ahead, maybe these words are being read. The years unknown, to a man still finding home. If he reads these words someday, I hope he smiles and says, you made it through the darkest blues, and became the man you chose. Time keeps moving like a train, rolling through sunshine and rain. No one gets to stay the same, not the face, not the name, but maybe that's the beauty too. The stranger that we all grow into, 1,000 versions come and go. Only the soul continues on. Every page a piece of me, set adrift across the sea. And if tomorrow never comes, I've already sung my song. The words remain, the ink stays true, like midnight skies and dark. Final page rests in my hand. I sign my name and understand. Some answers never need to appear.
'cause tonight the letter itself was enough.
Blue smoke hanging near the ceiling, like memories that never leave. Champagne women dressed in silver, laughing through their shattered dreams. I was posted by the bar light in a dark three-piece suit, trying hard to hide the damage under polished leather boots. Then you walked in cold as moonlight, diamond rings against your skin. Lord, the whole room stopped breathing when your eyes landed on him. And the bass rolled deep and steady, like a heartbeat full of sin, while every slow guitar whisper said, "Don't fall again, baby." You shine like danger underneath low light, start a midnight fight. And every low guitar cry tonight still tears my soul in two. Now this old blues lounge keeps burning with memories of you. There's a singer near the piano, dragging pain through every note. Old gangsters smoking silently with regrets beneath their coats. You danced slow beside that stranger, but kept staring back at me like a flame teasing gasoline, just to watch what it could be. Then you crossed the room so smoothly, whispered, "You still wear heartbreak well, God." Some words sound soft as heaven, while dragging men through hell. Silver rivers across the avenue, inside every glass and shadow still belong to you. I should have left that moment, should have disappeared for good. But lonely men and dark blues nights never do what they should. Baby, you move like jazz and cigarette fire, sweet slow poison dressed in pure desire. And every final guitar moan tonight still echoes through the gloom, while blue smoke and diamond rings dancing through this room.